Hello, everybody. This is Suneve, and I'm coming back to you with Touch, a Ticci Toby X Reader by KissedByRain. We're starting out with chapter 28. It's a little saucy. I read through it. It's not that bad. I've read more saucy, and not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that way you guys are not like, oh my god, oh, nasty scene. Like it's not that bad. It's very like fluffy, fluff basically. But let's hop into it. She doesn't know how to tell him. She doesn't know if it's the right time or place, but she tells herself it's now or never. His eyes are drilling holes into her skull, his gaze jarring her bones. He waits for her to speak. This time he seemed more patient, but his fingers were restless by his side. Her words are filled with hesitation as she begins to speak, but slowly filled to the brim with sincerity. Even if you are a murderer, or whatever you think yourself as, I still feel as if I need to be by you. I have this uncertainty whenever you aren't around, and I feel alone and cold. I don't know how subconsciously long my mind has known, but I am now fully aware that that. Toby gazes at her almost as if he knows what she's trying to say, but won't let himself believe it. He seems to have fallen deaf. Aware of what? I, I love you. She whispers, more confident now. For who you are. Toby looks at her delirious and looks as if he's been waiting to wake up from a dream. No, 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 no. He has nearly stopped breathing. No, you don't know what you're saying. I kill people. I'm not normal. You can't. Toby. Sunshine, you can't love someone like me. You deserve so much better. I'm a monster, inhuman and crazy. He's begun to rant now. He seemed to have barricaded his heart with walls, and she was going to break through them. I don't care what you are. I know I should, but I don't, and I can't help it. Ash tries to tell him again. I can't help but love you. She is suddenly pressed against the wall and pinned by her wrist by her head. Before she can think or understand what is happening, she feels lips on hers, moving hard and desperate and broken all at once. He was kissing her without hesitation, and the world fell away from her grasp, her sight hazy. A fluttering feeling erupted from her chest, and her face was on fire. Her eyes were already closed as she breathes in a shaky breath when he pulls away for only a second just to kiss her again. It was slow and soft, comforting in ways that words would never be. She tries to match his pace, trembling under his touch. His hands unpinned her wrist and moved to rest below each of her ears, his thumb caressing her cheek as their breaths mingled. She runs her fingers down his spine, pulling him closer until there was no space left between them, and she could feel the fast beating of his heart against her chest. Words were not enough to describe what she was feeling. Toby trails his hands down just to hoist her up, and her legs wrap around his hips instinctively. Arms secured loosely around his neck, his lips are suddenly on her neck, her throat and up to her under her ears. She leans her head back against the wall, and her backside was pressed upon. Ash was slightly parted lips, a small sigh leaving her as she catches her breath. I love you, she tells him again in a hushed tone, and feels him take a quick intake of breath against her neck. She loves the way he reacts to the words. He kisses her again, her mouth feeling bruised under the force. The moment is so intimate that she barely hears the door open. Ew, what the hell? Toby immediately released Ash gently on the floor, a blush on her face as she awkwardly stands by him. She isn't sure what to do with herself. Ben scowls at them. Geez, I came in here to check on you two, but you both seem to be doing fine. He looks over at Ash. Is this your way of comforting people? You should come see me next time. Toby, who was not embarrassed, is angry. Maybe you should knock next time, bastard, and fuck off, she's mine. Whoa, whoa, okay, man, all yours. Ben waves his hands in front of him. But damn, princess, you can really get it on. Ben! She glares at him, finally escaping her flustered state. He smirks. Anyways, I also want to tell you both that I'm leaving tomorrow morning. She frowned slightly at him, still breathing a little heavy. Really? She might have known him long, but she knew that she would kind of miss his outgoing personality. Despite being a murderer, she got a little too used to the fact that they both killed people. Yep, and I bet you're gonna miss me a lot, but do not fret, my princess. We shall see each other on the other side. He dramatically places a hand on his chest with a small sigh, making her laugh silently. Of course I will. He gives her a genuine smile, then turns to Toby. I would stay alert. You might not be safe here much longer. They will eventually make the direction here to find you. Ash sees Toby nod, only slightly, eyes narrowing. We will be leaving here in about a week. I need to go out and get some supplies in a couple days before we leave. The sooner you leave, the better. Ben pauses. Anyway, I'm going to go to bed. Ben walks towards the door before turning around. Use protection, kids. The door slams closed before they can reply. Toby turns to her with a soft smile. Let's go to bed. Ash nods and was about to lay down on the couch, but Toby pulls her over to his bed. If you're okay with it, you can sleep in the bed with me. She was surprised by the faint pink flush on his pale cheeks. He was blushing. Okay. She lays beside him and finds herself falling asleep quickly in his warmth. Author's note. Hope you enjoyed this chapter. I'm not very good at writing intimate scenes, so hopefully I satisfied you all enough with this. Chapter 29. Toby turns to her with a soft smile. Let's go to bed. Entry 14. When I asked the world to hold me tight, it only battered up my remaining hope. Left in my sight, I try to remind myself that this isn't me, that this is all must be some stupid dream. Yet even when I open my eyes, I still find myself screaming. She woke up with a quick start. The etching sound that lightly danced across the bedroom window was enough to send her back straight. Up bold as a hot sweat washed over her face and chest, her heart trying to escape through her throat the first chance it could get. Nights lately hadn't been at all easy on her. She always feels as if someone was watching, something even. Ash sighed softly, running a hand through her tangled hair. It was early in the morning, too early. It was still dark outside, as she could easily glance through the curtain. She knew she wouldn't have the ability to go back to sleep now, not that she wanted to anyway. Waking up can be really harsh, especially if your dreams are worse or better than reality, which seemed always relevant to her at this point. The saddest part of it is, though, that eventually even the memory of your dream will fade, if you're even lucky enough to remember it, that is. She remembers most of her dreams, even if all she wanted to do is destroy those memories. When she has peaceful dreams, she's left with this lonely feeling of detachment, left to explore the empty void of emotions, the only proof that she ever had the dream to begin with. Remembering that Ben would be leaving that morning, Ash rose up from Toby's bed that she forgot she slept in last night. Seeing him sleeping was interesting. He always seemed stiff and blocked off of all emotion, yet he seemed to let go in his sleeping state. He looked free from life's grasp. Smiling at him, she goes to her room to change while thinking about her confessing to him last night and the outcome. She almost starts to feel embarrassed that the memory subconsciously touches her lips. Leaving her room, and she is in clean clothes, Ash walks down the hall, her sock-covered feet gliding over the quietly creaking floor at the added weight. Grimacing at the noise she was making with each step, she finally makes it to the kitchen and gets something to eat. She devours it within minutes. She didn't eat much yesterday. When Ash is about to set her cereal bowl in the sink, she hears a low, long creak behind her, then the sound of someone breathing in behind her. Being paranoid the past day doesn't help and doesn't give her the best thoughts in these situations. Immediately, she turns around and chucks the bowl at whoever was behind her, only to hear a startled, girly shriek and the sound of glass shattering against the wall. What the fuck, Ash? It's Ben. You could have killed me. Then don't sneak up on me like that, she yells back, irritated and still shaken up. I mean, I know you're trying to hide your love from me for Toby, but you don't have to go as far to nearly kill me. The two don't notice the alert Toby at the kitchen entryway with a hatchet in hand as they continue to aimlessly bicker. Why are you even eating cereal at 4 o'clock in the morning? I was hungry. I didn't think you would try to sneak up on me. Ash shoots her back, her arms folded against her chest in annoyance. Toby sighs, setting his hatchet on the kitchen table. With his presence now known, Ash begins to calm down shortly after Ben, who continues to grumble to himself. Toby rubs his temples. What is going on? She started it, not me. She did. You know what? Never mind. Just go back to bed. Toby dismisses Ben. He shortly walks out of the kitchen, leaving the two alone. Ash huffs as she grabs the broom and starts sweeping up the broken glass as Toby lazily slides back into an empty chair at the kitchen table, almost falling back asleep against his hand. Once it was all cleaned up, Toby grins slyly. First knives and now bowls, huh? She chuckles, sitting across from him at the table. It's a pretty good upgrade, right? Of course it is. You're pretty badass now. He smiles genuinely. She loves his smile. Who said I wasn't a badass before? I've always been pretty badass, she says in a teasing tone. Sure, whatever helps you sleep at night. He pauses and speaks too soon for her to even think about replying. Why are you awake this early in the first place? Ash tries to reply simply. I couldn't fall back asleep. She didn't wish to mention that her nightmares were returning or that she's feeling rather off mind-wise, but She means the feeling of being watched. It's really messing with her head. He frowns at her, and she can't help but study the color of his eyes all over again. Like the first time she saw them, she was always left breathless at the sight of him completely. You can always wake me up, and I can help you fall asleep. Smiling softly at him with arched eyebrows, her parted lips slip out a small sigh. I know, I will next time, okay? That is the end of those two chapters. The next chapter after that is chapter 30, and we are currently 30 out of 40 chapters. We have 10 more chapters after this, and there are some bonus chapters in this series, but we will see if you guys would want to listen more to that afterwards. But you guys have a lovely day, and I hope you enjoyed the story. And again, if you saw the previous video, congrats on 100. I'm so happy for you guys and for me as well. I hope you guys have an absolutely lovely day. Bye bye.